So this is, I think, what is the problem with Bollywood. The audience itself is so confused and double standard, I would say.
This is not a podcast about the best films or best technical films or something like that. This is a podcast about the films that probably, you know, made a difference in Indian cinema or stood out last year.
That has been the speciality of Malayalam cinema in 2021. It has tapped genres that we did not think it would go to.
Hello everyone, hello, welcome to All Things Cinema once again. This is a bit late, I would say. We are in doing this video, discussing the top films, the top Indian films that we saw last year. We are already 17, 18 days into the new year 2022, but never too late. I'm sure people would still want to know the All Things Cinema picks of 2021, and as expected, the old panel, the regular panel is back after a long time. So Sneha and Farhad, thank you for coming in. We all missed you here. This is going to be an interesting one because so what we did was we picked like a few favorite films each, and then we counted out the mutual ones, which was in the list for everybody. And then we came up with this top 10 list, which we feel is probably, it does justice to sort of every region or every language, major language in Indian cinema. And let's see if you guys would agree with us or not. And if not, then please write down in the comment section below which were your top 10 films of the year. So let's start with the first one. So we are not going any particular order, okay? We are not saying, okay, if this is the first, this is the best film of that year. We are just picking up our favorites in no particular order. So the first one was the first release of last year, 1st Jan 2021. That movie came up in theaters, and believe me, I went to watch it in theaters, and hardly 13 people were there. 13 लोग थे सिर्फ सिनेमा में. राम प्रसाद की 13वीं को बहुत टाइटल को बहुत they took it literally. So jokes aside, so Sneha, you also loved Ram Prasad ki 13वीं, and so did Farhad, and that's why it's on our list. So what did you think about the film?
First of all, amazing movie. What a stellar cast. Also, directed by the amazing Seema Pahwa. It was her directorial debut. So also like a very special movie for me because 2021 की first release थी, but also 2020 में किसी ने कुछ theater में देखा ही नहीं था. So this was basically us going back to the theaters with this movie. And also it was a very unlikely choice for everyone to go and watch in the theater.
So the thing is that it's been a little bit of a rough year for Hindi films, I would say, and I think Hindi films are only sadly just resorting to remakes or biopics. Within that space, I think if a movie that comes out, that makes a satire on a funeral, I think that itself is like a breath of fresh air. We had seen earlier funeral movies with satires like Imayu, and so I had watched Ram Prasad. I think mentioned on your channel only that I watched Ram Prasad after Paglet. So I had not watched it in a theater, and I waited for it to release on Netflix, and that is when I'd watched it. And Paglet I'd really liked by then. But when I watched Ram Prasad, I came to know of the flaws that Paglet had in its storytelling method. Despite it being a good movie, I mean, I probably would have rated it a half star less had I watched Ram Prasad earlier.
Moving on now, the next one is a very special one for this channel, and the old viewers of our channel would be knowing why I'm saying that, because we started out this channel sometime in April last year, some April or May last year, and I was actually introduced to Malayalam cinema last year itself, and the first film that I saw in Malayalam was The Great Indian Kitchen. And why I say it's not just a special film for the channel, but also an important film for Indian cinema. Not just Malayalam cinema, Indian cinema, because of the message it gives out loud, the performances, and I'm sure any sensible cinema lover or a cinema watcher, if you will ask the top 5, not just top 10, if you will ask them the top 5 films of 2021 across languages, I'm sure 99.9% people will have The Great Indian Kitchen in that. So that is one of my favorite films of all time, and not just 2021. Brilliant film, great, very hard-hitting message, very honest, and so glad that a gem like Nimisha was, discovered and given such an important role in a pivotal role in a film like that. Suraj is always, doing justice to whatever character he's given. So, guys, quickly, I'm sure you guys also loved it to the soul. So, any particular moment that stood out for you in TGIK that really, hit you hard, if you could remember?
So many. Yeah,
No,
like
I mean,
so many moments.
in a film, there's always that one moment which makes you feel, man, this is a special film. Like, this is a film, a once in a decade kind of a film, right? There are moments in a film like that. So, was there one particular or a couple of moments? Especially,
Yeah,
I
for
think the
me,
climax will be
yeah,
definitely one of them.
yeah, exactly.
I just remember that one scene that is there in which the male in the house, they decide to cook, and after everything, the dinner is done. That is when Nimisha and just cleaning the utensils and all, and they're like, why is she taking so much time? Like, what work is even remaining? We've even done the cooking. So I think that stayed with me, because I think how many of us are guilty of doing that as well, in our real lives.
Okay, the next one, again very special because now this, if TGIK introduced me to Malayalam cinema, Joji introduced me to the favorite actor I have for the last 1 year, and I think for life he is going to be one of my all-time favorite actors. And people here know my biasness towards him because we have so many videos just based on him on this channel. So I happened to watch Joji after TGIK, and I was blown away, literally blown away. And this is without any biasness. Everyone will agree with me, not just on the panel but the listeners also, that Fahad Fasil in Joji was commendable beyond words. I mean, his performance, not just performance, I mean, even before performing that character, his transformation into that character, losing all that weight and looking like that character, and then belonging in that world. Uh, and of course, any adaptation of Macbeth is always special. We have already seen it with Maqbool before. So a very interesting take on Macbeth, like a partial adaptation. So guys, for you both, I'm sure you had seen Fahad Fasil's work before Joji also, so it was not as overwhelming for you as it was for me. But what stood out for you in Joji? What you think was so special about that film that it makes our list?
Can I go ahead first?
Yeah, sure.
Farhan? So for me, like because I had already seen Fahad's work, for me, Joji wasn't really about Fahad. It was about everyone and everything in that movie. It was an ensemble cast, and also an adaptation of Macbeth needs a cast like that, because every character is important. Every character has a huge role to play in the plot. And not just the cast, but also the cinematography, the music was just insane. So I think this is probably one of the best Macbeth adaptations that I've seen, and also the fact that they made it their own. This was like a proper regional adaptation, and also one of the first movies, I think, in 2021 that addressed the fact that we're in a post-pandemic world.
Yeah.
So I think that was a very interesting thing for me about Joji. I was very happy to see that, okay, they're addressing this in the storyline now.
Farhad?
So I think Georgie was the movie in which I started observing and appreciating the technical aspects, as Sneha said. The cinematography was just exquisite. The background score I remember was very haunting, and I think we discussed it again on your podcast only, Keshav, and you had at length spoken about the sound design and the way it was approached. So I was really impressed by that. Just added to that atmosphere of that film, which was so well done. Of course, Fahad Fazil is a genius.
Okay, now the next one. It's again another Malayalam film. But what do we do? I mean, Malayalam cinema churned out one after the other gems last year, and I think this one, Farhad is the best man to talk about because it is probably his favorite film of 2021. Not just Malayalam, but favorite Indian film of 2021. So, Farhad, all yours.
One of the favorites, but I think I I have made a name actually by going on recommending this film, this Malayalam film that was there, I think on your channel, Sadik's channel, Tanya's channel. So the viewers who are common now have started pointing out to me saying that, Farad's love affair with Nayattu is never ending, So Nayattu is, I think, that film that I absolutely loved. And to top it, it didn't realize till we were making this list a few moments back that Georgie and Night 2 had released so close to each other. Although Night 2 had a OTT release a little later, but the theatrical release, I think it was one of the last films to release just before the second lockdown. So and once it had made it to Netflix, and I remember watching it on a Sunday afternoon, and I was so impressed and so, I mean, there were so many mixed emotions at the end. Of course, the film was brilliant, but the hard-hitting nature had just absolutely taken a piece of me with it.
I could see why you were so mad about this brilliant film, and for me, also, it was one of the best films of last year. And I think there were some rumors that it might be India's official nomination for Oscars as well. And if it would have been sent, I wouldn't have been complaining about that. But it had so fierce competition with Sardar Udham and Pebbles and whatever. But Nayattu will always be a very important film in Malayalam cinema down the line after many years.
It was ruthless. It was ruthless also.
Yeah, and very ruthless is probably the right word, but also uh, it was not diplomatic in any way. It didn't it didn't take any middle ground. It was straight to the point, and it made you uncomfortable at times. So if that happened to the viewers, I think they did their job with the utmost honesty. Sneha, your views on that?
Like, I think you guys have mostly covered it. But yeah, like made me uncomfortable. And there are some movies, I think this happened with The Great Indian Kitchen also, like they refuse to leave you. Like they get under your skin. Like you can't stop thinking about movies like Nayatu and Great Indian Kitchen.
Okay, the next one. So, guys, don't worry. We have non-Malayalam films also on the list. So this time we go from Kerala to Andhra/Telangana, and we have a Telugu film. And this, for us, probably stood out for many reasons. And I will again let Farhad take the lead on this because he was the one who suggested us this film when it came out and recommended us highly. So, Farhad, what makes Cinema Bandi so special?
So, firstly, when Cinema Bandi was out, I didn't know what to expect of the film. I hadn't watched the trailer. One thing that drew me towards the film was it was produced by Raj and DK. That was the first takeaway. So I just happened to just tune in on one of the weekends. I think it was a Saturday, and it started off, as a feel good film, but it went so much beyond that. The tagline of the film is that everyone is a filmmaker at heart, which is so true. I mean, we are just discussing films for our love of it, but somewhere, we also are, filmmakers and students of cinema, I would say. I wouldn't call myself a critic. I'm a student of cinema. I think you would also agree to that, and we all are students of cinema. So, the premise was such that it made you laugh, and it was a comedy, okay, and at no point did it drop the ball. It was always breezy, and it had that philosophical and that heartwarming end to it, which was just fabulous. Cinema Bandi, I think, is on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, please do watch it. I think this was so unlike a Telugu film, that I really ended up appreciating it a lot more. It was one of my favorite uh, Telugu film. I think most favorite Telugu film of 2021. I think it had newcomers, there were unknown faces, but then that didn't stop a good story from being told. So it was just amazing. I had a ball watching that.
And of
What
course, when Raj and DK they are involved in a project, you can always expect something surprising, something fresh. The same year, they also come out with something like Family Man 2, and they also produce this brilliant Telugu film. So you can actually see what kind of versatility they have, not just when they direct, but also to pick the right kind of project
the
to produce.
vision?
Yeah, the vision, to produce and put the money in the right place. And then comes the middle of the year, and we are like, yeah, why are all good movies coming from Kerala or down south? What has happened to Bollywood? Can we expect something good coming from Bollywood as well? And then suddenly comes Sherni. Vidya Balan is back with a bang, and brilliant film once again. Really underlining the fact that a good script, a good director, and good actors can still do magic with originality. I know there was Mimi as well in the middle of the year, but I'm damn sure if you would ask any sensible cinephile or any person who understands cinema one bit, they will tell you that Mimi was nowhere close to the brilliance of Sherni, and also Mimi was not an original; it was a remake. So we lack originality. We lacked originality a lot in Bollywood in last couple of years. So so refreshing to watch. You know, the director of Newton coming up with something very different from what he did in his first film.
Also, I still remember it was a great day for me because उस दिन 3 movies release हुई थी on OTT platform, Sherni, Luca and Jagamet Handiram. So it was a great day for me. I did like a movie marathon after a long time. So yeah, like and also the topic around which Sherni was based, so unusual. I haven't seen like a movie based on a topic like this, on the forest mafia that exists in India. So yeah, I definitely think that not just Vidya Balan ki career ki best movies mein se tha, but also I think in like Hindi cinema ke hisab se, like this was amazing. Yeah, and also something that we were looking forward to after a very long time. That there's this movie trailer से ही like हम लोग सब इतने intrigued थे. So we were like, कि, okay, finally Hindi cinema is coming out with something good.
Farad, what was your review on Popcorn Reviews? Like, how many stars you gave for Sherni?
I had given it 4.5 out of 5. I had really liked the film. And here I just would like to also point out to some critics, other critics, without naming anybody, that when there's actually a good script that comes along in Bollywood, you end up just thrashing the movie, saying that it did not entertain much, there was no entertainment factor, and just weird, connotations that are there. And when something like a Satyamev Jayate 2 comes, just giving it 4.5 stars to that ridiculous film. So this is, I think, what is the problem with Bollywood. The audience itself is so confused and double standard, I would say, that they end up appreciating, yeah, and there are films that need to be appreciated from all parts of India. But then when it specifically comes to Bollywood, and when there's a good script that is there, you just don't you just don't, you're just okay with mediocrity, and that is why it has come to this.
No, I think
And I just had to rant here
Farhad, it will be
because of
unfair
that.
to call those guys critics anyway. I mean, at best, they are just trade
Absolutely.
analysts. They are just trade analysts who sometimes review a film based on how much money it makes, or what kind of star power is there in that. Uh, but anyway, I get your point. Now the next one. Let's go to Tamil Nadu now. There were a lot of good films, by the way. We are not saying that this is the best film of 2021 from Tamil cinema. There were a lot of other brilliant films, but mutually we thought this is one film that kind of is a milestone film, not just in not just in South Indian cinema or Tamil cinema, but in Indian cinema and in the sports genre. And I'm talking, of course, about Sarapatta Parambarai. Uh, Again, the timing of the film was such that it collided with Tufan, and we could any blind person could also tell the stark differences between how Bollywood approached a sports genre and how Tamil cinema, Kollywood approached a sports genre. And I mean, hands down, Sarapatta scored over Tufan in every single department. Uh, I don't want to do another comparison video. We have already done it before. You can find it on channel. But the point is, P. Ranjit did everything so well. Everything was glued together so well, and every department stood out. I mean, to create the 70s era and not just show boxing in a certain way, but to also touch upon different aspects in the film, be it the politics down south, or the caste system, and a lot of other things that they talked about. So, and of course, the music by Santosh Narayanan. He's my favorite composer, so one of my favorite of all times. And what he did in that film was absolute genius. I mean, I'm not sure if many composers in India could have done that out of the box kind of score, what he did in that.
It was much more than sports, which is what is required. I think in your podcast only we had raised that point that sports film need not only be a sports film; it should be much more than that. Um, Again, there was bound to be comparisons because Tufan had released just 3 or 4 days before Sarapatta Parambarai, and Sarapatta Parambarai just knocked it off. It was a knockout, absolute knockout, and it was such a layered and textured story. I remember speaking on your podcast only that he had already won that fight at the halfway mark. So what were you going to show in the next 1.5 hour that was remaining? I think these were your words, Keshav. That just showed that we were already glued till the end with so many twists and turns after that also, which means it was a complete winner for me.
And the next one now, once again, for me, probably the film of the year. And I'm not saying it because it's a Hindi film and I'm a Hindi speaker or something like that. But India has been making a lot of biopics lately. And for me, this biopic, just wipes the floor with other biopics. In true sense, it's a proper international standard film in all departments. It has set new benchmarks. I'm talking about Sardar Udham. I'm sure Sneha and Farhad both are in agreement with me here. Guys, film of the year 2021.
I
Agree.
think so. I think
Definitely.
so. Yes, has to
Like,
be. Yeah.
and also like a very surprising move because like it was almost like saal khatam hone wala tha and Bollywood was performing not that well
It
because
is a non-performing asset.
exactly, and then like Shujit Sarkar and Vicky Kaushal just went all out, so it was great. And also I think like I wasn't like I've never been particularly very fond of Vicky Kaushal as an actor. I think he's a very good actor, very hardworking, but what a performance! Like I think Irfan would have been very proud of him to see him in this role. So yeah, I think Like one of the best movies, one of the best biopics that Indian cinema has produced.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I saw shades of Irfan in Vicky Kaushal. I mean, that is the biggest compliment anyone can give Vicky Kaushal. I think it was hands down his career's best, and he deserves probably a national award also for this film. And I was actually personally surprised as to why this film was not sent as a part of India's entry to the Academy Awards this year. This was truly an international film. It was a slow burner, and this is how a biopic should be. It should not be like
Exactly.
glorifying
Right.
the person.
Great screenplay. Like we haven't seen like a good screenplay like this in a very long time, like a
Yeah,
non-linear screenplay.
Okay, now the next one. Of course, we had to add a pick from Karnataka, from Kannada industry, and Farad highly recommended this film for us, and it is probably one of the best films, Indian films from last year. So Farad, over to you.
so so the film that we are talking about is Garuda Gamna Vrishabha Vamna. That it's a gangster film basically, and I had actually, when the theatrical release had happened, I had heard many good things about the film, and I finally got to watch the film. I think very recently. I think only 4 5 days back when it had premiered on Z5. That's why we are counting it in 2021, by the way, as a Kannada film. And I was so blown by the performances by Raj B. Shetty, by Rishabh Shetty, uh, such stark characters that were there. I think probably it was the best gangster drama for me since Gangs of Wazipur, and on par with Angamali Diaries.
What about
Angamali Diaries.
what about Malik?
No, I think this was better than Malik. I would say
Wow,
it was
that's a huge statement.
because Malik was a technically brilliant film as well. But here, if you see, there were these mythological references that were there in a gangster film, and the use of music here. I don't know. Have you guys watched the film?
No, not yet, but
Okay.
now I'm definitely going to.
But I think this was, as I said, it was one of the best gangster dramas for me since Wazipur.
And now the last film of the year, the last release that was on OTT, I think, 24 December, just before Christmas, and everybody was so looking forward. Just like we were talking that India doesn't make a lot of good sports films. Same way, India hasn't much to boast about when it comes to original superhero films. We have had a few here and there, like Krish was there, Ravan was there, Mr. India came all those years ago, and then there were a few bumps on the road as well with the Flying Jet and whatnot. But finally, with some assurance, I can say that in the last few years we have made small steps in the right direction. We have made progress with the first Bhavesh Joshi, and then we saw Mard Ko Dar Nahi Hota, and now finally Malayalam industry came up as flag bearers of proper original superhero films, and Minnal Murli was an outright winner for me. You can argue that it's not the perfect of the films, but to have an origin story like that, to be able to execute in that budget, I think it's important that we had this film in this list. Because see, this is not a podcast about the best films or best technical films or something like that. This is a podcast about the films that probably made a difference in Indian cinema or stood out last year. So I think Minnal Murli was one such film which stood out in Indian cinema. It will always be looked back with so much of pride for not just people who come from Kerala but also outside of that. And I've seen pan India sort of appreciation for it.
Yeah, it was everything what I expected it to be. It was a great origin story. And also for me, and the mark of any good superhero story is how great the villain is. So I think in this story, even though, like, spoiler alert, the villain dies, but also the origin story for the villain was as good as the superhero. And also, like, the reason why it was so heartwarming and nice to watch was because it was so rooted that it's not just like a superhero is born in a city, he's born in a village, and he's not born with superheroes. How he got his superpowers, and how he's trying to be his own self. So I think that was something very interesting, and also how they did not go out of this village at all. Like, they did not have that ambition, and which is what makes it more interesting, that there's scope for more parts to this movie. And also, I'm kind of glad that this came before Brahmastra, because I'm sure it would have definitely overshadowed with the scale and story and everything. But that's what makes this movie so great. It's so rooted and so original. And what a great performance by Tovino.
Yeah.
And also such a great soundtrack.
Oh yes, absolutely. We did talk about the music as well when we did our podcast. So Farhad, for me, one of the very important aspects of Minnal Murli was the fact that they had like 200th of the budget that Hollywood superhero films have, and yet to be able to deliver it with such finesse. I know there are a few moments in the film where you can pinpoint, okay, this VFX looks not as state of the art as it would be in another superhero film, but just ignoring all those little things, I'm sure if provided with a better budget for Minnal Murli 2, which by the way I think is definitely going to come. So if provided with better budget, do you think Basil Thomas can actually take it to the next level?
Absolutely. I mean, this film, despite, their sets being vandalized and despite being in the making for, I think, more than 2 years, uh, despite just having a budget of 18 crore, which is nothing for a superhero film, literally nothing, it still managed to impress with a great origin story. I think the makers deserve a lot of credit. I can doff my hat. I don't have a hat, but I can doff my hat to the makers. And that has been the speciality of Malayalam cinema in 2021. It has tapped genres that we did not think it would go to, and it has tapped them successfully. It has paved way for so many other films, like now we can say that yes, can we have another superhero film in another language? Definitely we can. Can we have it, like you're saying, can we have a part two? Can we make a franchise out of it? We can definitely do that. It has paved way for that. Up to
Even
that moment, the only one that we had was Krish, which was somewhat successful. uh, okay stories, mass entertainers, but this was much more cerebral, much more. I was surprised by the way how organic the story was. It didn't feel like a superhero. It felt like
Yeah,
like one of us can be
that's
superheroes and we don't know
exactly.
about. Except
because
that last half hour probably, which demanded that being cliched. But yeah,
and
I
not
mean it
But
was
just
a
also, I
wonderful
think the
film.
VFX was very believable. It might have not been very grand compared to what we see in Marvel and everything, but also it was very believable.
Yeah,
And that was, I think, a very good part about it. Like, they
I think
did not try to go overboard with it.
I think in
humor also.
one of the interviews, Basil also told that we went for practical effects rather than a lot of special effects. That also was cost cutting for us. And you know how you said now there have been talks about superhero films from other parts of India coming up, and part two of this one. I think we can also even start to think about a multiverse of our own, where people can have Bhavesh Joshi and Mard Ko Dard Nahi Hota and this one all existing in the same universe and crossing paths, just like we saw in the recent Spider-Man film. And one of the good things about this film was it was dubbed in different languages. It was there in
Yeah.
English, it was there in Hindi and other languages. So that really gave it a bit more pan-India approach as well. So all in all, I think Minnal Murli really defined and underlined 2021 and ended it on such a brilliant note that we were, our cinema hungry souls were completely satisfied by the end of the year. So thank you once again for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new here. And if you are an existing subscriber, then thank you so much for watching and for all the support so far. And we'll see you very soon next time. Thank you.